Hi, Junior. This is a little bit longer book than you normally have, but it's called Pooh's Neighborhood. And Winnie the Pooh was a story I liked to read when I was little. So that's Winnie the Pooh and Owl. I say, it's a splendid day in the neighborhood, says Owl. It's a nice day here too, says Winnie the Pooh. Exactly what I'm saying, says Owl. A perfectly splendid day in the neighborhood. Which neighborhood are you talking about? Asked Pooh. Neighborhood, said Owl. Our neighborhood, the place where we live and where all of our neighbors live and are neighborly. Oh, said Pooh. It is a splendid day in it, isn't it? I think Pooh gets confused sometimes. So there's Pooh and Owl still talking. Quite, said Owl. Now I'm off for an owl's eye view. He flew up and circled once around Pooh's house. What does it look like from up there? Called Pooh. I can see the 100-acre woods spread out before me, said Owl, and it's a fine place indeed. Owls can fly very high. So there's Winnie the Pooh. Remember the other story where the bear liked the honey? Pooh likes honey too. So as Owl flew off, Pooh began to think about what it means to live in a neighborhood, and he thought perhaps he would bring a neighborly present to his closest neighbor, Piglet. He took a honey pot out of his cupboard and tied a nice blue ribbon around it. Since he likes honey, this is a way of being friendly. So he's thinking very hard. Then he tucked it comfortably under his arm and stumped down the path towards Piglet's house. But when he reached his thoughtful spot, which is halfway between his house and Piglet's, Pooh suddenly had a thought. I could take this path straight to Piglet's house, or I could go up the path and around the whole neighborhood, and sooner or later the path would take me to Piglet's house anyway. And that's what he did. So he thought and decided to go around the whole neighborhood. After he had walked for a while, he came to a house where Kanga and Roo lived. So there's Kanga, and Roo is the little baby who sits inside the pouch. Hello, Kanga, said Pooh. I'm just on my way to deliver this neighborly present to Piglet. But Pooh, dear, Piglet lives this way, said Kanga, pointing down the very path in which Pooh had come. Yes, said Pooh, but today I'm going the long way. Oh, I see, said Kanga. In that case, perhaps you should join us for a snack. Come on, Pooh, cried Roo. We're going to a picnic spot. So he's going to go off and have a snack. Not going to get to Piglet's house quickly. So there they are having their little picnic. Pooh said he was feeling a bit 11 o'clock-ish, so they all went together past Sandy Pit, where Roo plays, up to the picnic spot to share a little something. Half an hour and one picnic basket later, Pooh thanked Kanga, tucked Piglet's honey pot back under his arm, and stumped down the path towards Rabbit's house, going to see all the people in Pooh's neighborhood. So there he is with Rabbit. Hello, Rabbit, cried Pooh. I'm on my way to Piglet's to give him this neighborly present. If you're going to Piglet's house, what are you doing here? Asked Rabbit. I'm going the long way, said Pooh. More like the wrong way, if you ask me, said Rabbit. But since you're here, would you mind taking these carrots to Christopher Robin? Christopher Robin is one of Pooh's friends. I promised him he'd have them in time for lunch. Well, at the mention of the word lunch, Pooh noticed his tummy was feeling just a tiny bit rumbly. Now, how could that be? He just had a picnic. Oh well, Pooh eats when he's hungry. So there's Pooh walking away from Rabbit's house. With the carrots under one arm and the honey pot under the other, he walked along until he came to a place where the stepping stones crossed the stream. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He counted as he teetered from stone to stone. 8 or 9 of the rabbit's friends and relations heard Pooh and peeked out of their windows and doors. Pooh shouted, "Hello!" Rabbit's friends and relations waved, so they all waved as he walked across the stones. There's Christopher Robin, and he's eating a sandwich. So Pooh marched across the open slopes of heather and up the steep banks of sandstone until at last, tired and hungry, he arrived at Christopher Robin's door. "Oh, my carrots," said Christopher Robin happily. "Thank you for delivering them." "It seemed the neighborly thing to do," said Pooh proudly. "Will you like to join me for lunch?" Christopher Robin asked. And Pooh said, "Well, I really am on my way to Piglet's to bring him this present, but I don't see why I couldn't stop for just a little while." After lunch and a longish snooze, Pooh was back on his way. It's going to be a long day. This is Eeyore. He's always sad. That's why he has a cloud over him. He walked down the path through the little pine woods and climbed over the gate into Eeyore's gloomy place, which is where Eeyore lived. "Hello, Eeyore," said Piglet. "I was just on my way to—" "Oh," said Pooh. "I was just on my way to Piglet's house with this neighborly present." "Not coming to visit me?" said Eeyore. "I didn't think so. It's been such a busy week already. Why, only 4 days ago Tigger bounced on me on his way to the swimming hole. How many visitors can you expect, really?" He's a very gloomy guy. Still looking gloomy, and Pooh, feeling rather badly now, offered Eeyore a nice lick of the honey. Pooh had opened the jar, and Eeyore peered in, and he looked back at Pooh. Pooh peered in. "Empty," he said. "That's what it looked like to me," said Eeyore. "Oh, bother," said Pooh, and he stumped off gloomily, trying to think how was he going to tell Piglet about the neighborly present Piglet was not going to get. I wonder how that got empty. So here he is walking through the woods, meeting up with Owl again. Pooh had almost arrived to the place where the woozly wasn't, and was deciding to take the long path around just in case the woozly was, when he saw Owl flying over. "I've seen our whole neighborhood today," Pooh told him, "but now I have no neighborly present to give to Piglet." "The bees have been quite busy at the old bee tree lately," said Owl. "Perhaps you can get a fill up there." "That's a good idea, Owl, but it's such a long way," sighed Pooh. "Come along," said Owl. "We'll take the shortcut through the woods." Wonder if he wants to go through the woods. Oh, looks like they found the tree where the bees are and all the extra honey. So they walked together until they came to an open place in the middle of the forest, and in the middle of the place was an old bee tree. Pooh could hear loud buzzing near the top. Up, up, up he climbed. "Go higher," called Owl, "past the bees, to the very top of the tree. Now look around you. What do you see?" What do you think he'll see up there? Look at this. He sees all of the 100-acre woods spread out behind us. "Our neighborhood," cried Pooh, "our beautiful home." "That's the Owl's view," said Owl grandly. "Oh, I can see poor Piglet out sweeping his walk. Where do you think Piglet is? Let's see. There's Piglet's house. Looks like he could use some company. There's Pooh's house. See, he could have gone this way to Piglet's house, but he went all the way around here, past the sandy pit where Roo plays, Kanga and Roo's house, Rabbit's house, Christopher Robin's house, the rabbit's friends. They're now at the bee tree. There's Owl's house, where the woozly wasn't, thank goodness, and out to Piglet's house. So Pooh filled the honey pot once more, and he went he and Owl went to Piglet's house for supper. The end.